everyone, welcome to Watch It Paint It. In this video we are going to be looking at a preview / review of Redgrass Games 360 miniature holder, so the RGG 360 I think they are calling it. Now this is just a prototype, but we'll have a look at it, I'll discuss it, I'll tell you about it, tell you what I like, what I dislike, that sort of thing. So first things first, they sent it me free of charge. It is only a prototype, it's 3D printed, so there's not a huge weight in value behind this, but fair play to them. They contacted me and asked if I wanted to review it. I said I used the hobby holder, pretty into the hobby holder, you know, are you sure you want to send me one? And they sent it me anyway, so, you know, good game. Let's see how it holds up, let's see if I like it, etc, etc. Let's talk about the product features first. So it's a grip to hold a miniature, and you paint the miniature on top, and that's about it. But more specifically, they do have sort of three main points to this exact miniature holder they're producing. The first one is it's an ergonomic grip. Hopefully you can see that it's sort of curved and it fits in your hand. I actually, when I got it, I was like, which way round does it fit? And I guess it doesn't matter. Whatever's more comfortable, and weirdly, both ways are very similar to me. I think on average, I've painted quite a few things with this now. It sits in my hand this way round, and that's the more comfortable for me. The fingers go into this dint, and this curves round. But no, it's got to be that way. It's got to be that way. It is either way. It's ergonomic. Both ways feel quite comfortable. This is the better way for me. So ergonomic. That's one of the main features. The second one is they've got this sort of custom-made putty in the top. So they've gone and had this designed, made specifically for holding miniatures. So that's their second feature. And then the third and most standout feature for me is this 360, where it gets its name from, degree spin on the top. So I think that's pretty unique. And they are the three main features. Now it's designed to increase stability and precision. That's what they're aiming for. That's why you might want that might be why you want to hold the full stop. That's what they're aiming for here. I think a lot of holders are designed to do those two things, and this does not fall short there. That's what this is also designed for. Now, do bear in mind, as I mentioned, this is a prototype. It's 3D printed. It's pretty, you know, bish bash bosh, got something out, but it works. And as far as I'm aware, it's pretty accurate to the final product, what it's going to be. The final product's going to have the same putty. This is the correct putty. It's going to be ABS plastic sort of molded, so it's going to look a lot nicer. It's going to feel a lot smoother. It's going to be really slick. But the design, I think, is going to work the same. One thing they've mentioned is it's actually top heavy at the moment. The biggest weight's here. This is hollow. There's nothing to it. So I think the final product's going to have a lot more weight down here. Oh, you can sort of see it's top heavy, and that hasn't got a miniature on it yet. It's pretty easy to knock over, but it's a prototype, and that, you know, they're going to be addressing that. And to be honest, I don't think I knocked it over once while I've been using it on 3 or 4 models now. I've not noticed that problem, but that's just wanted to mention that's one thing they will be changing, looking at as the prototype goes forward. So what they're doing next is they're going to kickstart this. That's going to be on the 10th of January. They're looking at €10 at the moment to buy one of these. I'm not quite sure what the postage is, but if you're in Europe yourselves, if you like I am, if you're European, that's going to appeal to you. The postage should be a lot cheaper, no sort of import tax. While, you know, Brexit's not happened yet, we will not have to pay to import this. Hopefully it could do. So the delivery time, they reckon 3 to 4 months, so that could be post-Brexit. Awkward. We'll see. One thing to bear in mind, I did back the wet palette myself, and that was supposed to have a delivery in March, and I got mine 4 months late or something. So they say 3 to 4 months, but like, if you guys have kickstarted anything, you know that's a bit, you know, take it with a pinch of salt. So I don't actually mind, you know, as long as the product's good when it comes. I don't mind that it's late, but when it's just weird that every single Kickstarter, well, not every single one, that would be lying, but most of them say it's going to arrive here, and it arrives, or worse, soda pop, and it never arrives. So, wow. Anyway, that's enough about the product. Hopefully that's covered it. There'll be a link in the description below to the Kickstarter, so you can check it out in text format and actually, you know, read it instead of me wobbling on at you. But let me discuss my thoughts on this next. So I'm going to run through those main points that this is trying to address by this product coming into existence. The first one's the grip. As I sort of mentioned when I was just describing the features, I like the grip. I think this is really comfortable to hold in your hand. Fits in my hand nicely. It's possibly a little bit too small, but maybe not. Like probably my finger being under it adds to the stability. You know, I can grip it quite well, and I can move my hands up a little bit. So the grip's really nice, and it's really, really easy to reach the top. Like both my index and my thumb both can reach it. If you're holding it upside down, your little fingers reach it fairly easily. You kind of lose the ergonomic features upside down, but at least you can hold it and you can still reach it very comfortably in basically every position I've used it. I've got no problem with the grip. The grip is solid. So for the second feature, it is the putty, and I'm wowed by this, to be honest. It's supposed to be custom putty. I don't know if anything like this exists. It's not like poster putty. It's not like Blue Tack in the UK. It's sort of, I don't know if you can see it. It's like really sticky, but not at the same time. So models, if you find a model stick to it really effortlessly, and then you can get them off with even like less effort, yet it never falls off while I'm using it. So it's like, it's magic. I don't know how else to describe it. It's really, really impressive with poster putty. I don't have any problems sticking it on, but getting it off afterwards is a bit risky. I'm always scared I'm going to break something. Let's see if I can do this on camera, but I'll just smash these together, just one hit, whereas poster putty, I'd be pressing it in. So that was quite a firm hit. Obviously, take more care with your model and press it on. But well, let's shake it as hard as I can. Okay, that's as hard as I can. That does not come off. That is well stuck on there, not quite in the middle because I just smashed it, but it's really impressive. So the smaller models have not come off at all. I've not knocked one of these off. It's no effort to put on. Let's see about getting it off. That was like the lightest pull ever. So I can't shake it off, but you can get it off at the end really easy. This putty, really, really impressed with. I do like that. Now, having said that, you can see this putty. Look how I've got paint on it. Can you see all the grass? I've got grass on it, and I've mentioned this to Redgrass Games. I don't think they're going to care or do anything about it. I'm not sure if it's even a problem, but I paint a lot of sort of 25, 28 mil models like this. So when I get to painting the base and I go around it and I'm leaving the paint, as you can see here, I'm putting grass on it and I've left grass all over it as well. So I feel like if I was them, I think I'd just bring the putty in. I don't think I can do it because it sort of fits. It's molded to this sort of cap that's on the top. But if this cap just extended a mil or two, sort of where there you go, where I've pinched it here, and that was plastic, and then it was putty, I think you'd still get the stickiness without ever. You can see the putty wouldn't be here, so you wouldn't be painting it. Now I don't know what effect paint and all this grass on the putty is going to have, but I feel like this putty might be quite expensive to replace, and this is going to wear it out. Like I'm going to do this every model I paint. I paint a lot of models. This is going to be ruined. It's going to be unusable, I think. Now, I don't know for certain. It may well not do. I've painted 4 models on this, and it's not ruined yet. But I don't know how much the putty costs, etc., etc. So I just wanted to. I'm just putting that out there. That's a concern with that. But other than that, putty's good. I like it. I want to own the putty just for various other applications. Could use it on other holders, that sort of thing. I think the putty, good work. But like, let me know in the comments below if this kind of putty already exists, and I've just never seen it. It is supposed to be custom made specifically for this though. So good work. I like that. And the third and most important feature of this product should be and is the 3D spinning top. Now, it's really good. I really like it. I'm really impressed. I'm surprised how impressed I was, to be honest. As I mentioned at the start, I said not to bother sending it. I didn't think that would matter to me, but I've used it, and when you need it, it's really, really good. It's really precise. You can control it. It's like the putty. It's like easy to use and effortless at the same time. I don't think I can show you because you can't see how little pressure I'm putting on that. That's like you can't. So if that's just rubbing my finger against it, doesn't do it. But the lightest pressure, that's like the littlest I could press on something and it turns. And yet you saw with a model on it, it doesn't turn. it's hard to show you without me turning it myself. But that it doesn't free turn, and yet you need no pressure whatsoever. The little finger's the same. It turns beautifully. It's really smooth. It's really consistent. It turns instantly. Turns at the same speed. That sort of thing. It's exactly what you want from the spinning top model. So that's great for me as well. So they've nailed the 3 points. I think they've done well. The product does what it says it does, and that's, I can't really fault them for that. Good on them for doing what a product's supposed to do. Now, the final point is what I mentioned as a holder, what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to increase your precision and increase the stability of painting the models. Now, as I just mentioned, I think it increases the precision in a 360 world. If you're painting a model such as this one, where you need to paint something in 360, it does increase the precision. If you say I'm painting that arm, say trying to get my brush in there, and you just need to, just the edge. You're just like, oh, you can just, I've just missed a bit, go back, like painting and painting. I'm not left-handed, but I can hold this in my left hand as well. And my left hand's useless as well, so it's that easy to control. And you can, it's hard. I'm sure you're painters, you know what I'm talking about. If you just need to go just back and forth, just gently, just nudge it a little bit, just turn it a tiny bit. It's really, really easy to control. It is precise. I'm very impressed with that. Stability-wise, not sure. It's better than holding the model in my hand, and it's better than the 3 things I've used. It is a nice grip. I can hold it well, but it's I can't press it on the desk so well. You can see it's wobbling now. I'm not quite sure how. Now, I've only used it 4 times. Maybe I've just not got good enough at using it yet, but I am not. My hand's a little bit wobbly with it. Now, I can rest both my hands on the desk and get fairly similar to what I'd normally do, but at that point, now my grip's kind of interfering with the spin. You can see how much it moves to the right as I turn it. And just the stability is not much better than freehand sort of thing for me. It doesn't add any stability for me, but precision, yeah, I think they nail the precision on the turning preciseness, not necessarily the painting preciseness, because you try and go upside down. Now I've got nothing. Like, I'm holding it like this, and you must have to paint upside down. I have to paint upside down all the time. This is wobbling all over at that point, so I'm not sure it actually stabilizes very much. But 360 precision, if you need to go back and forth, which on this snowman I did a lot. I'm 360 dry brushing. I'm just going round and round and round with a dry brush. It's definitely precise for that. I'm just not sure. The eyes, for example, I'm going to try and do his eyes at some point, and I'm wobbling. I don't know how much that shows up for you guys. Hopefully you can see it's a bit of a wobble. Obviously the camera's in my way. I will be able to lean better, but it's just not as stable as I would like to for eyeballs. So while I'm just talking about that sort of thing, let me just discuss the models I've covered. I have painted a snowman. I was super impressed. I think this is perfect. This is a perfect model and a perfect holder for this. Really comfortable, dry brushing round and round and round. So I'm halfway through this. I've actually painted. So this was the one I've painted on this holder, like so. And hopefully, he is as good as I paint. I think I'm fairly impressed. And just dry brushing round and round and round and round and round. No problem doing this, just back and forth. It's doing what I want. There's very little upside down work. At most, I'm sort of painting under his arm here, his nose, and that's it. So this was probably the perfect holder for this specific model. So I was very, very happy with that one. Next up, I painted a large model on this to give this a test. Now, press that on, and I don't want to shake it too hard because I don't want to break my model, but there you go. That was an issue while I was making this video. This fell off. I lost count of the number of times, and I pressed it on harder and harder each time. Well, you can see it's still there. The text is still, these lines are from painting this model. It was, I don't know if another holder will hold a large model as well, but I have painted large models and I have used holders and they have not fallen off. So maybe I did something wrong. Maybe the putty's not quite strong enough. This weighs a lot, by the way, but all large models do. It just, and another thing to mention while I'm talking about the large model, the 360 spin, oh my God, it's like falling off already. Oh, it's spinning by itself now. Can you see that? There we go. It didn't do that. I didn't notice that when I was painting it, and it is a prototype. Maybe I'm starting to wear it out, but that is turning by itself, just under its own weight. But it's just harder to spin. Like, I'm catching my thumb, because it's over the edge. It's just, it's it can paint a large model, but I don't recommend it. I don't think it should be recommended. So that's not for me. And then the other type of model I painted, just a slightly larger base. It's not metal, so it's not heavy or anything. Should have just been painted as well as the snowman, but I thought I'd try another one. Now, it painted quite well. I wasn't unimpressed with my final paint job. I think this is about as good as I do as well. Now, what the problem was is this has got lots of fiddly places, lots of bits where you're painting underneath the model, around the model, under here. There's just loads of hard to reach places, basically just loads of under, and it's a dwarf. So he's very small, so there's not much space between the base and the thing. And then that's when this stability comes in. So you're painting like this a lot, and it is wobbling as much as, well, worse, I think, because I'm holding it, holding it all over. One thing that is easy, little fingers will turn this easily, so you can be painting, and that control, that is nice. The precision there is still there. It's just the stability. So I don't think the stability is amazing this way up, and the second you have to hold it in a funny way, it's all on how much your arms wobble, etc. And this model broke numerous times because I ended up doing what probably people do. I'm pressing it on its head. Now it's lovely and stable, really easy to paint. I can still turn it. My finger's behind the back. I'm still turning it. Obviously, I could be wearing and tearing his head, but I always paint the hair last. But what happened is I'd turn, and this is glued, and it was unglued 3 times or so, two or 3 times. I snapped his arm off, just trying to get stable while I'm painting underneath the model. It's not necessarily the holder's fault, but that's how I paint, and that's how I need to paint, and it's just unfortunate. It doesn't help there. So I feel like I'm painting more. I'm painting another snowman, and it's going fine. So I've got the second snowman, loving it again. So I did snowman first, was amazed. Owlbear, disappointed. I'd rather have painted it without a holder full stop than using this holder. This one, 50-50. For the bits where I'm just tweaking the turn, nailing it. For any of the fiddly bits, I broke the model, which is disappointing. So for me, somebody can work out the percentages and let me know in the comments below, but spot on. I would use this to paint these. Never again am I going to paint a large model with this one. And if this was the only one I owned, I would be painting this. But if I had a choice of anything else, I'm afraid I would not paint that again with that. So that's my thoughts on this model holder, on the RGG 360 miniature holder. That's my thoughts. So not bad. In a vacuum, if this was the only product that exists, if it's all I had, I would be recommending it. I would be very, very impressed. I'd be backing this. This is better than nothing. Now, obviously, 3 things exist. You've got a couple of choices. There's loads of you guys who've been using all sorts. Let us know in the comments below what 3 things you use. I know pill bottles are another highly used one, and cork, that's another one. These are just 2. This is one I've used. This is just a stopper. There's a video on the channel if anyone's interested. That came with my water bottle. It's fine. It does the job, but you haven't got any way of turning it other than like this while you're trying to paint. So you've got that much rotation in it. So if you're ever thinking, do I actually need any of these miniature holders? They do cost money. There's an expense, but if you can afford it, they're a big step up. This is fine. Don't get me wrong. I could paint with this fine, but why not have something better than this if you can afford it? It's all money, isn't it? But if you've got the disposable income, some people paint with shot glasses. I'd not actually tried a model on a shot glass until tonight. I just saw it. Some other YouTuber user, I can't remember his name. I think he read it in a book somewhere. But shot glasses are quite good. They flare out at the bottom, so it's quite stable. It's nice to hold. It's quite smooth to turn. It's nowhere near as smooth as turning this. You can see I'm jerking all over as it's catching on my poor hands, but that's not bad. So there are certainly 3 things out there, but this is going to be €10. That's not a great deal of money in the grand scheme of things, and this is a big step up on either of the 3 things. Right, guys, just to summarize, hopefully I've just been through like every single thing I could think about this product and hopefully covered all bases. Please do watch it all if you have the chance, because I mentioned lots of different things. You really need to gather your own opinion based on me using it. I think if you primarily just want the spin and you want a nice grip, this is absolutely spot on. If you've got loads of models to paint with funny angles, or if you're expecting stability, because you can get the stability with this. If you're pressing it into the desk, like anything, like a shot glass, like cork, if you press it into the desk, you'll have the stability. You just don't have the 360 spin with the stability. It's either or, in my opinion. Now, it does do the precision spin remarkably well, and a lot of things can't do that. You can't do that with a shot glass, but you can get the same precision just by pressing into a desk. So it's better than a shot glass, but it costs more, but it's not expensive. We are in an expensive hobby. Miniatures aren't cheap, paints aren't particularly cheap, the hobby is not ridiculously cheap. So adding €10 to your artillery of helping you deal faster, better, more enjoyable miniature painting, this will help you all the way. Now, I couldn't finish this review without mentioning, I keep saying I'm doing this in a vacuum. I like reviews to be standalone. This product standalone is nice. It's worth a decent review in its own. But a lot of people have already asked me, and I think in the comments below there'll be comments as well, how does this compare to the hobby holder, which I use already? So I will leave that as a link in the description below. I will compare the two miniature holders together. It'll probably pop up in the top corner as well. I think YouTube allows me to do that, and you can see the comparison there. But I wanted to leave this video standalone. I'm happy with this product. I'm going to use it. I will certainly use it if I ever need to spin, and that's my main concern. And also, it's just really quick to use. So even if I'm using multiple miniature holders, grips, while I'm painting, this one is not the slow one. I can pop them on and off really, really quickly and then move on to something to do the more precision work. Not precision, sorry. This is precise. The more stable work when I'm pointing under the models, that sort of thing. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching. Do check out the comparison if you're interested in the two products. Thank you. Feature of this product, whatever. It's a project for Kickstarter and it's a product for us to buy. Yep, you heard me.